You go live. You're like, right then, huh? Perfect time it wasn't. And this is gonna do it every time.
I'm gonna have to eat with y'all tonight. It's been a little
chaotic,
doozy of an afternoon.
Always fun times. Always fun times. So I think we're live. Good evening. It's been a while since we've been live. So 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Has it been 2 or 3 weeks? 2. It's hard to stay on schedule now that we're kind of off schedule, so we gotta get back in the routine. Rehab, what's up, Miss Ann from Mason, Michigan?
Aiden, will you bring me a napkin, please?
Is it starting getting cool up there in Michigan yet, or is it still steamy hot?
August, I would say it was probably still pretty. No, it's September.
Where you at?
I don't know, y'all. I was thinking today something about 2012 popped up, or I saw, and I was like, I don't even know what I did in 2012. That was a really long time ago. I mean, Harley was a baby. And I was like, I don't even remember anything major that happened that year.
It's funny because we're getting older. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you're still young. But like somebody today was talking about being in their 20s. And like, man, I don't even remember my 20s. And that was just not too long ago. Crazy.
Well, all right. You say it wasn't too long ago, but
I don't even know how old
we're in our mid-30s now. So
oh, really?
Really, that was a long time ago.
Age is just a number. I don't listen to that anymore. What's up, Miss Debbie, Miss Phyllis, McLeod? How are y'all? What up, cowboy and cowgirl? Mm-hmm. We're far from that. And I'm sorry, I can't pull off a cowboy hat, so you're not going to see me in a cowboy hat. I just can't pull it off.
90. That's not bad. Comfortable at 90.
Comfortable at 90? What are you talking about?
It's actually a comfortable 90. Well, they're not. Our 90s are like. 90.
No, Rehab Life is probably way hotter than that. He was joking. I know we had a cold front.
Reading it sarcastically.
We had a cold front come in, and we had, I say cold front for the south. It was like 64 the last few mornings. It's been like awesome milking. Awesome. It really has. It's been so nice to have that breeze. Hey, Brittany from Oregon, welcome. Hey, Raymond from the Brums. I think we missed some people. Hey, B-Moss. Oh, you babies. Yeah, so we have, this is actually our pulled pork sandwich and homemade sourdough bread and homemade kombucha. So
and pickles.
And pickles, absolutely. So we had to.
And mayonnaise.
And mayonnaise, that's right.
Cheese will be next. I'm waiting on my cheese press.
So we had to kind of eat on a run, and I was like, Misty, it's like almost 8 o'clock. We had to fill up the cow's water. We came in a little bit late, so
yeah, we had church tonight, so you're like trying to run in from that. And
Rehab Life said,
I said I'm just gonna have to eat. I'm just gonna have to eat I'll have to eat with y'all tonight. But I can't not eat because I feed Livy. So if I don't eat and drink, she doesn't eat and drink. And we've had some pretty interesting nights with Livy.
Yeah, our kids don't know how to sleep.
Last
they never
night,
have.
Well, I couldn't even console her last night.
Was it last night?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Remember?
I've just lost all track of days.
You got her first, then I got her. And then I kept her for, I don't know, probably 20 minutes. And then you come back and got her. And then I think she finally gave it up.
I feel like I'm on punishment because I sleep in the recliner more than I actually sleep in our bed. So I think Misty's enjoying every bit of this stuff.
I tried to wake you up a few nights ago, but you didn't get up.
I know. I've been worn out. Hey, Miss Vicky, how are you? Boots and Bounty, how are y'all doing? Hey, we're not cool enough for trolls. My wife is hot, though. She said troll. Hey, Kim and Mark. It's a little weird to come back. I know we're slow people getting on. Bar Run Forge, how are y'all doing? Tell us about the Destin trip. So, we live we're about 2.5 hours from our coast, Mississippi. You okay over there?
Mm-mm.
She's choking. Y'all gonna see. She used to make fun of people eating on lives. I remember vividly. She was like, "Why does she always eating on live?" She was talking about somebody, and now she's like having to eat on a live. So I thought that's pretty funny, pretty oxymoronic. Destin was awesome.
Pulled pork was coming out of the sandwich.
we live 2.5 hours from our beach in Mississippi. So, but let me tell you about Mississippi. If you've ever been to Mississippi or heard about the Mississippi Gulf Coast,
There is nothing.
it looks like
here.
a pond. It's nasty. It's terrible. Now, on the other side of Ship Island, where we have some islands right there in Mississippi, so it is prettier on that side. But on the front side, by where all the casinos are, right there in Biloxi and Gulfport, it's horrible. You wouldn't want to go there. So then we started going to Gulf Shores, which is about 4 hours away on the Alabama Gulf Coast. Well, Destin's only about 40 minutes more, so we jumped over to Destin. So we're only about 5 hours, 4.5 hours, 5 hours from Destin. So we don't go a lot, but it allows us to.
So much prettier.
And we had there was a cancellation at the place we stayed. We've stayed with this person several times. We saw that they had hey, are we good? Are we good? I think our live chat walked off. Are you okay? Can y'all see us?
Well, ours might be froze up, but it looks like we might still be on.
Okay. So I'll go on with the story. Hopefully we are live. But so we're only about 4.5, 5 hours from there. And so she had a cancellation. It allowed us to go. We only can go for usually 2 or 3 days, if that at times, just because we are extremely busy on farm. We had basically what happened was Allie all our calves were not weaned yet, and they were supposed to wean that week. So we took the opportunity to go. We beat out some of the piglets, as y'all saw. So we still have some piglets still do. Other piglets have not happened yet. So it was just a perfect time for us to go.
I don't know what we're going to do when they're all born. It's already like a
cry and scream and stress out.
They're already running around everywhere in there.
Yeah, bar run. We've been at Dolphin Island too. We actually went there for a missions thing one time there.
The kids don't like taste that. The kids said it's too watermelony, but I don't get that at all.
It's watermelony, but I mean it's fine.
I cut open some of our watermelon. I had just a lot of watermelon, and my kids don't like to just eat watermelon. So I thought, well, I'll use the juice and add it to our kombucha. And the first, he would have never really noticed it had they not seen the jar when I was making our kombucha.
Hey Sharon, hey Great
And Aiden was like, I can taste the watermelon in there. And then all the girls heard it, and they were like, watermelon, it's terrible. I can't drink that. And it is not bad at all.
I don't know what it is. It's just, you can taste the watermelon, but it's not a big deal. The pulled pork was pulling back. That's right. That was one of our hogs that we were able to literally raise from a baby. Broke it down here on Misty's kitchen table, and then of course smoked it on smoked it here, and then ate it.
Did we smoke those?
I smoked that one. That's one of the smoking one. Yeah, the kids are going crazy over there, so excuse that.
No, they were laughing at us making kid voices.
Oh, was our kid voices were bad? Yeah.
Hey, give me a few of those too.
You just eating on live, aren't you?
No, I'm hungry. Well, I'm hungry.
I'm starving.
I actually cooked for a friend of mine who is expecting, and she was down with a really bad headache, and her migraine got so bad that she started throwing up. And anyway, she couldn't stop throwing up and ended up in the hospital. So, I cooked for her tonight, so I was kind of running doing that, which is such a pleasure to do, because when people need us, especially our friends and everything, I want to be able to be there and help them when I can. So I cooked for them, but we had leftovers.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. But when we cooked, so like our pulled pork was actually the whole front shoulder. It was basically the picnic.
So
and
we eat on it
Boston
for forever.
butt. So it's a huge piece of meat for us. And that pig was about 300 pounds. So that one shoulder, goodness, it was probably a good 35, 40 pound shoulder that we've ate. We had a little family event with it, and then turned around and ate it twice more. We're pulled porked out.
I put the rest of it up in the freezer. I still had about a quart left, because I filled up a freezer bag and put it in the freezer this afternoon, because we don't waste anything.
Hey, Three Musketeers. Hey, Stacy.
Oxygen treatment.
I don't know, Clifford. That's one, I've never heard of that.
I don't know. She got really sick though. She has 5 kids that she's also taking care of.
And she is pregnant too.
And she's pregnant. That's what I just said.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I said expecting, I think. But anyway, so times when people are
Never too much bar run.
Times when people need help and need something, I try to do what I can.
So how's everybody doing tonight? Kind of tell us what's going on in your neck of the woods.
You did turn that water off, right?
I did. We got home. I moved sheep and our Herefords. I moved them. We weaned everybody, so all cows have went absolutely nuts this last week.
Like going back to the weaning.
Oh my gosh.
It's like when we get the mama cows away from the baby cows, it's like they lose their mind. The mama cows totally lose their mind. Trying to get over COVID. There is a lot of nasty stuff going around, so y'all eat healthy.
Hey, Miss Leslie.
Keep your hands washed. Speaking of, we have gotten several prayer requests, a lot from you guys. We pray over our friends locally and our friends that aren't local to us, so we do that. So we'll definitely be praying for you as you're getting over COVID. I don't want that.
You gotta eat it.
It's just a brownie.
Hey, Miss Rebecca. Big Dave, congratulations on paying off the car today.
Well, I don't want that.
Yes, we're all blessed. I really know. We actually, that sounds cool. Bar run that you're tearing down a grain bin. You can utilize that for pig shelters for sure, or put it back up. Let's see. Getting ready. Brittany says she is getting ready for archery elk hunt next week. That sounds awesome. We had a friend, actually the guy that's helping us build some of the stuff here on the farm is actually on an elk hunt in Colorado now. He had to backpack. He backpacked in 10 miles is where he was going to hunt. So he had a pretty good walk ahead of him. Mm-hmm. He's a fireman, so he can really, he's all right. He's good. Let's see. I'm new to chickens and have them in a covered run and was wondering what to put down on the floor on the run. So here's a few options there.
I would definitely do like pine shavings.
Pine shavings.
Are they, is it a permanent run or is it like a chicken tractor?
So if it's a permanent run, there's a few things. You could do pebbled rocks. A lot of people like that because it seems like they can clean it better and wash it. You can do sand, which to me packs too much. And pine shavings. Pine shavings is just where we go to. If you've got hardwood mulch, it's even better because it does hold it better and it doesn't get so soaked up and wet and nasty. With pine bark mulch or with, like bag mulch that you buy, or what's it called? I mean, what's the actual terminology for it? But the shavings, that's what I'm going for. Mm-hmm. They're going to pack up tight and nasty. So you always have to add more. Hardwood mulch will last a little bit longer.
And if you use hay, only use very little bit of hay. You don't want to use a lot of hay because hay can hold on to moisture. Moisture can just cause things like mold and stuff, which is not good for their respiratory. We have used hay before, but we don't use it very often. If we use a little bit of hay.
I might use hay in the winter in only the boxes just to kind of help insulate that box a little bit better. Sorry about that rehab life about a family member that passed Wednesday. Sorry about that, man. Still fencing over in South Texas. Hey, I have to fix. I had two pieces of fence that got broke during the storm. So big oak fell on one piece on the back run, and then another big pine fell on another piece. So now we got to do all that. Yes, no cedar. You don't want cedar. You want strictly pine bark or hardwood mulch. You don't want cedar. Cedar is bad for the respiratory. Let's see.
I saw somebody mention the horses earlier.
Building a chicken pallet coop this week, starting a homestead is rough since you just want to be done and built. Mm-hmm. Andrea, we have been doing it for roughly 6 to 10 years, and it's never built. Like we're building 2 new somewhat barns on the farm right now, and it's just never ending. It is truly never ending.
The one going up right now, it's small. I'm not going to be like giving away anything. I mean, it doesn't really matter, does it? It's small and it's for the pigs. and it's a place basically where we can put them.
They'll
They'll have their own stalls, whether it be for storms or for babies or whatever.
They're not going to stay there. It just allows us to have that emergency spot.
Right.
It's next to the
and
pig
it's
forest.
That's what I was going to say. It's right in the pig forest, so it's right there with them. We have a few other smaller barns, but the problem is getting them from the pig forest all the way to these barns down here just was not practical at all. So it's very small. A lot of the wood we already had.
Yeah, we had a lot of the wood
that we were using today.
A lot of rough cut wood that we already had. I told y'all in several videos before, anytime that we're doing a project, we always overbuy, especially if we find a good deal on wood. We buy a lot from the lumber mills, and we'll buy pallets of them, basically, and they come in bulk sales. So we put that in the covered barn, and we use those for later things. We're struggling getting our big barn built, so we're kind of going away from that and going to little barns right now. And that's helping us get through some of these storms and storms to come.
Yeah. So and our pigs are ones because we moved. Oh, you don't want some free rangers?
Negative.
Our pigs are. Y'all know that y'all see us rotating them a lot, and because we do rotate them a lot, we have found because of our storms that having movable shelters in with those animals is not really a great idea because of the strong winds that we have here. And we actually lost a sheep to that. Now we have thought about
last year, this
spring. We have thought about using T-post vents. T-posts like to drive in, but that's still only going to do so much when you're talking about a shelter that has like a whole covered top. Because if the wind catches that, those T-posts better be in the ground.
Now we did T-post the pig. We had a little pig shelter in there. If you saw the video of us talking about Hurricane Ida, it held, but it was because it's the pig forest, and we didn't have a lot of wind in that part of the farm. The way it was set,
there was no limbs or down anything over there. We had some wind on a different area of the farm that caused some limbs to be down. And some of those trees were older too and rotten and stuff, so that had a lot to do with it too.
Brittany says, got to get the garden turned over for the fall crop this weekend too. My starts are super ready for the BHS plant. You're going to see this week, we actually have a video coming out probably Friday or Saturday. It will be talking about some of the things we've done for fall. You'll see some of that getting planted.
I actually checked on some of our stuff today, and it looks great. I was like, yay, this is so exciting.
I love fall. I love growing in fall. It's so nice. Hey, halfway home. Hey, Naked Gardeners, what's up, y'all? How are y'all doing? All right, Bar Run says we are also in a drive to make for 1,000 subs. Going to do a 12-hour live stream if we make it to the end of the month. Hey, good luck to you. Check them out. We always try to help as much as we can. So Bar Run, congratulations if you get there. 12-hour live stream. That's pretty bold. I don't think we could do it. But hey, man, good luck to you. At least the price of a limb has come down some. You know, Rehab Life, I'm on this clam where everybody's saying that, and I agree with you. I'm glad the lumber has come down a little bit, but I always go back to them thinking, okay, it went from 2 to 10, and now it's back to 6. So it's like we're excited about 6, but we really should be pushing back to get to 2, right. Or whatever it may be. So yes, it's better. Will it ever go back to where it was? Probably not. But you know, when me and Miss Back built this house, we built this house when lumber was at dirt cheap pricing. And we built this house we contracted everything. We subcontracted everything. So we built this house for just way under what most people build. So I can't complain. And I hate to see all the people having to build houses right now. I hate it for them.
Yep. Because it almost makes you upside down. It almost kind of makes you upside down in your house before you even get a chance to live in it.
Aline says, hello, love your channel. First time on the live chat.
Yay.
You welcome. We're not that cool in live chats, but thank you so very much. We could edit a lot more on the videos. So our ums and our uhs and our so's go away. But in the lives, you got them all. I'm so sorry.
So Tootie, Miss Vera said we do, they're going to start planting their lettuce and other stuff.
Love fall gardening. Brittany says this is her first time doing it. I'm just telling you,
It's
I
a
absolutely love
different
it.
kind of, when you harvest, it's so much better. When the bugs are different, it's just
You
a
can
totally
actually
different
grow and
season.
enjoy a garden to me.
Enjoying it, yeah.
In Zone
there you
8B
go.
especially. What made you want to start a homestead in Mississippi as compared to anywhere else? Our family is from here, Miss Sharon, so we grew up in Mississippi. If you told me that we didn't have our family here, we wouldn't be here in Mississippi because Mississippi is, I just don't, it's just
There's nothing
Mississippi.
here.
Yeah, there's nothing in Mississippi. So don't get me wrong, it's great for homesteading and homeschooling because really the government is more hands off on those things, but it just doesn't have a lot to offer. But we're here, our family's here. I don't ever see us moving anytime soon. If we do, it's going to be drastic situation to make us move. But our hearts are in East Tennessee. That's where we had a property at one time, and
It's
I
hard
miss
to let
it.
it go.
Yeah. So that's why we're here. We love homesteading. It is easier in our zone. So I challenge anybody in the
Because
zone
we can
8B.
grow
Yeah,
a
we can
lot
grow.
more or
Yeah.
for a longer period of time.
Thanks, Miss Rebecca.
We were talking about that the other day. Colby said he was saying something
Hey, Miss
about
Vanessa.
northern part of Florida, and I was like, "Ooh, but that's even more hurricane central than we are."
Yeah.
I don't know
But
that I would want to go that way.
with us having zone 8B, it allows us, as Misty was just talking about, we truly grow 12 months out of the year. If that's medicinal herbs or if that's our fall gardens, our winter gardens, our spring or summer gardens, because we don't, I mean, don't get me wrong, we had a winter storm this last year, but that's not typical for here. And even the hot summers are not as, they're hot, but we're still getting a lot of rains. Like normally this time of year, except for the last 2 years, we have
Thank
no
you,
grass.
Miss Rebecca. That was very
Our
sweet.
pastors struggle and things like that, but the last 2 years have been phenomenal. We've had good rains, and that is, you know, hurricanes to thank. We do get some rains off them, so it does help.
Vanessa said she planted carrots and broccoli. We have those things planted.
Absolutely.
Actually, I have a variety of both. So I'm very curious to see what's going to do the best.
Barrun says we love your ums and so's. If
I
you
say
really,
a lot.
if we didn't edit a little bit of our videos, our true vlogs,
it would be way more.
it would be overkill. You would get so sick of our.
I say it and don't even realize I'm saying it most of the time.
I can't remember what. I always say one thing and I have to cut it out. And Misty's always says so and
I'm bad about saying
Mine's like I said or something like that, and I'll say it and I'm thinking, what do you do? Why do you say that? I mean, I don't understand why I say that. Hey, Miss Ellen, how are you doing?
Y'all can pick on us. We pick on ourselves
we
too.
do pick on ourselves. Rea of Life said my current project is 1,200 square foot and will cost about $30,000, even at higher prices because I shop well. That's what's amazing. I have 2 guys who work with me. They're building houses for literally almost double the price we built this house for, and it's about half the size. So it's just crazy.
Planting green beans
Hey,
and broccoli in the greenhouse. We actually have some tomatoes in the greenhouse, and they look amazing, by the way. And they will, our tomatoes, we're fall tomatoes. They will stay in the greenhouse year round. And see, I just said it. They will stay there, and I figure they will do well. Because it stays so hot.
Hey, Barb's Country. I'm choking up. Hey, Barb's Country Home. Hey, Rip, what's going on, man? Hey, Miss, on Barb's Country Home, I got something in the mail. I think it was from y'all. I have a little sticker coming from y'all, so we'll show that in a video coming up. So thank you so very much for that.
I'm glad I got that.
Hey, I just got it in my bag today. Golly, God. Did you hear that? Walker Farm fam, what's going on, y'all? How are y'all doing? One crop that you will never plant again. What would be that one crop you would never plant again? Boy, you're really thinking about this one, aren't you?
I am. That we planted that we didn't really like.
Yeah. So which crop would you never plant again? What would you say, Harley?
Beans.
Harley hates beans.
I said
You said like 4 more times. So I would say we planted. This is not bad, but we planted radishes one year. I think we realized a lot of things that we planted one year. We planted
That's
a
true.
smorgasbord of winter one year, and we harvested all. And I'm thinking, what are we growing all this stuff for? Nobody eats it. Like it was just stupid.
Yeah, and the radishes none of us eat. Now
I'll eat them on salad every once in a while.
We did pull them up and we shredded them on salad.
Freedom Rangers. I wouldn't grow them anymore.
But we were not just a huge fan. So I would definitely have to agree with that. Do we need any muscadines? If you have some,
we'll take them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're just going to go harvest on our forage tree in the next few days. Paul's our favorite growing season. We are doing well. Thanks for asking. I'll be honest with you. We love fall too, Naked Gardeners. It's our
Brussels
favorite season.
I also have.
I love Brussels sprouts.
Well, we're gonna try it here. We're gonna try. We've
here.
never grown them here.
Yeah.
Or we tried to do seed starts years ago, and they never even germinated. Which that could have been just because we had bad seed. So, who knows? They might actually do well. But I did buy some seed starts of Brussels sprouts when I went to a local nursery last week, the week before last week. So I've planted them, and we'll see how they go.
So Miss Vanessa says, I have green beans ready for picking and potatoes almost ready. I just learned about planting in the fall. So potatoes, where are you growing at? That's a good concept that you're actually growing potatoes right now.
We actually dug our potatoes up, in May?
March.
Oh,
no, April. Sorry.
I was going to say, it wasn't that early.
Samantha says she's an girl, drives her husband nuts. I say
it and don't even think about it.
I love Brussels sprouts. I know that's crazy.
Did somebody just say, what are those? I thought I saw a question.
I think somebody says, what are those? Talking about the cucamelons, I would imagine. They look like little mini watermelons that are some part of the cucumber family. I think that's what I would say when we talk about growing. We got away from growing all this random stuff. Not that it's not good.
To try to cue in on the things that we eat.
That's right.
It's for anybody though. It doesn't make
sense,
right? It doesn't make sense to invest your energy and money and everything into something that at least not your whole family. Like for example, what we eat the most of, and our family in general eats the most of, is broccoli. So we have a lot of broccoli.
Yeah, we do.
What, probably 200 plants?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So
we're investing a lot of time and energy into broccoli because everybody eats broccoli. Brussels sprouts, not so much, but Colby and I both enjoy them. So there's only 6 plants? 6.
Yeah.
6 Brussels sprouts. So that's the difference. I guess that's what I would say.
All right, a few things. Miss Donna was talking about what are muscadine. Exactly. Muscadine is basically a seeded grape. It's made for winemaking. It also has it's a very strong flavored grape. That's what I would say. A lot of people make jellies out of it, wines out of it, jams out of it. We're going to use them, juice them down, and make jellies out of it, and also add it to our elderberry because that's high antioxidants, just like any other grape. But it's a very
they grow seeded, native and natural here, all in our
They're seeded and they have a thick outside. So it's like a grape with a stronger taste, a hard seed, it's a pit, and then it also has more of a rubbery outside. So you can eat them. I mean, I eat them, but it's almost like a chore to eat them. So most people juice them.
And I would say
that's a good question. What crops do you struggle with the most? And I'm gonna tell you, I know mine, and I know what you're gonna probably say for me. Corn. We grow since we're organic growers. Corn, we suck at. We suck. I mean, we just can't. I mean, we'll harvest this year. When we
spend like $75 in natural, bone meal, fish meal, blood meal, all kinds of natural fertilizers. Yep.
We just suck at growing them. And I think it's because our seeds are so modified, and not our seeds, but in general, corn is such a cash crop that it becomes so modified that it's hard to find a true heirloom. And then when you find the true heirloom, it costs $5 a year to have this corn be as beautiful as you want it. So we struggle with corn. We try to grow it every time, Naked Gardeners, and every time I'm like, why am I wasting my time? But I try. And what we do is we either till it back in so it doesn't come to waste, or we give it to the animals. So we're actually utilizing what we can. But I wish we could.
So it's
grow
not
back.
a total wash.
Yeah.
It is still it still goes back into the ground and feeds the ground. And like we took a lot of it and fed to the pigs and the chickens, just right out of the field. But because it didn't, I mean, it just didn't do
Hey, Lotus
anything
Blossom.
this year. But so it wasn't a total waste. But do we really want to spend so much time and
Hey,
money and energy into something that is just not feeding us?
Sean Alaska, and we did the manure. We actually, the dead fish, we went with the fish emulsion because we had tons of it. We talked about burying the eggs and the fish with the crop.
I've been telling him for years I wanted to bury dead fish out there.
And I'm not saying we won't. It's just like, because we plant such a big spot, I'd have to fish for like days, which Aiden would probably really enjoy that, to try to do that.
We have so much manure between the cows and the horses now. They drop loads everywhere. We probably have 1 million pounds out in the
what's
fields.
so crazy is where our corn was, not this year, but last year, it did a little bit better than this year, of course. Sucking on your fingers, girl?
No, that's Harley sucking on that sucker.
Oh, I thought that was Livy. I think that's Livy. Sucking on her finger. Even last year, we planted our corn. We had chickens and turkeys there that just heavily fertilized that area, and then we covered the side sharp, and we still didn't get that. So it was terrible. Corn is a nitrogen pig. You're right, and so that's where we struggle with it. We actually are going to do cover cropping where our corn is going this next year. So we're putting vetch, and I'm really blowing a video right now, but we're going to put hairy vetch and red clover. Actually, where the corn is going to be for next year. So I'm anxious to see. We're going to roll it in like a true no-till. And I found a guy who's got a roller, so he's going to let me borrow it from the Kubota place over there. We're going to roll it in and actually put it there. I'm ready to go horseback riding. Come on. Hey, I'm trying to talk them in. They need to buy like a lot of horses.
2 is plenty enough for us.
It's like any other animal. You enjoy them, but you know you don't need more than 2.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even with our big family. I mean, you know, we would say we'd like everybody to have a horse, but that's not realistic.
I mean, I would actually consider them pets right now. I mean, they're not really doing anything for us.
Right.
Now, we want to get them to where eventually,
that's crazy.
If we want them to ride us from one end of the house, from one end of the farm to the other, or pull something for us or whatever, we do want them to eventually work for us. You know, I don't think Bella would be able to because of her age, but Rose
she might just carry the back end, or you know, she might just make sure
Rose will definitely be able to, because she is still a little bit. She's younger. I won't say she's super young, but she's still got a lot of spunk to her. Aiden said when he moved them over today that Rose got in the new field and she just ran. She just ran. You know,
they got
she said Bella.
Thick field of grass.
She said Bella went and he said Bella went in there and just stood there. She's an old fart, as I like to call her.
Miss Tina, I'm sorry I missed your comment a while ago. Just saw it. She is from South Louisiana, watching us on a generator. Thank you for your support. But more than all, we pray for you as you walk through that. We actually sent some things to Louisiana. Y'all had it a lot worse than us in South Louisiana. So praying for y'all as y'all walk through that for sure.
Yeah. Used to trail ride. Yeah. We never really grew up on horses. We both had friends that had horses that we rode every now and then. I mean, like, I say every now and then, really hardly ever, but we have rode before.
I had a friend that had one, and that horse was crazy, so we never got close to it. But we had other ones that we rode. So, let's see, Misty, are you finding canning as tough to accomplish as you thought it would be? We're supposed to start canning meat like very, very soon, though, guys.
Well, and there's peas out on our fall peas. There's peas out there everywhere.
Are they?
Yep.
I saw them blooming.
So when they turn, I'll be picking and I'll put up one more batch of peas.
These are Louisiana pink eye. We've never grown Louisiana pink eye. It's just another variety.
They're doing amazing though.
But they look really good. The pumpkins died right beside them, and I think they were struggling a little bit. And we got a few pumpkins, but they were struggling a little bit. I think that the hurricane though just went on and killed them all out.
Yeah, so I think the wind pushed them over. And maybe some of the vines snapped. I don't know. After that though, they did start looking really bad.
We have a few pumpkins out there. I need to go pick those few pumpkins.
Mules are much better. I don't know anything about mules other than they're stubborn.
I don't know. We're not. I'm not saying that we're gonna be the horse people that we probably could be because we have so much other things. But I think the kids are going to really enjoy them. So I'm excited about them. I really am.
Opens up so much freezer space. Yes, absolutely. So that's why when we
that's what we need.
See, I said I don't even know what I was saying. Oh, when we kill off our next
You were
chickens,
saying
when we kill off our next batch of chickens, the majority, probably at least 80% of all of that meat will be put into cans. And I'm not going to say I'm the cannon queen, but we do put up a lot of stuff in cans. Even before I learned how to pressure can, we did a lot of fruits, pickles, tomatoes. So what am I thinking? It's like spaghetti sauce, like tomato-based products. So that is what we've done for years and years and years. But since I've learned how to pressure can, that has really changed the ball game as far as a lot of your vegetables and stuff. So now that meats are added into that, it's definitely going to be a huge win. That he said, get out of his chair, girl. Stacy said she accidentally planted Cherokee pumpkins instead of watermelons in the summer, and they are taking over everything.
Oh, that's fun. That's gonna be a different taste there. Let's see. I'm saying now. You got me saying Walker Farm Fam says I gotta put the kids to bed. When they grow up, they want to be like us. Oh, we need to be like y'all, man. Hey, I like that little calf y'all have, by the way. It's a beautiful little calf. Let's see, Misty. How much water do you put in your pressure canner when you can meat?
That's a good question.
We just go up to the line that says line.
I will be canning meat for the first time when we butcher our chicken.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. I was thinking the vegetables.
So the vegetables, there is a line, and it's about 2 inches from the bottom of my pressure canner. When you hot water bath, the water has to be over your cans. When you pressure can, it's different. You only want about 2 to 3 inches on the bottom, or basically kind of like up your jar. And each pressure, let me go back and say this, each pressure canner is different. And you need to make sure, that's what mine suggests to do. So you need to always go to your manual and make sure to see what your manual suggests, and always follow those instructions, because each pressure canner is different. I have an All-American. What brand pressure canner? I have an All-American, and I love it because it's so heavy duty. And when I say heavy,
it's heavy.
From the top, the whole thing is actually way up there.
Can you show it?
It is right. Let me see if I can get to it. Right there is my pressure canner.
I'm pointing at the screen like they can see it. I'm like there.
Oh
yeah, like there.
Right there. So there's my pressure canner, and I really, really like it. But always remember to follow your manual's instructions. That's just what mine suggests to do. Is 2 to 3 inches from the bottom. And there's a little mark in there, but it's about 2 to 3 inches. So I fill that up, and I have not had one thing go bad from everything that I have canned. I say that now, but everything that I have checked, I walk by there and constantly check them. I've made vegetable soup. I've made
Billy.
Potato soup. I've made all kinds of stuff with some of my stuff that I've already canned, and everything has been perfect.
Poor Man's Homestead, welcome. Thank you.
So just make sure you're following your instructions.
Okay. Kim says, hey, did you see Joel Salatin's blog about a logger? That's funny. I did not see that, but we need to go back and check that out. Rehab Life, we do plant soybeans on the opposite side. We love edamame, so we do plant soybeans. And we also
would have had a ton had Trump somehow the fence got down.
Yeah.
Remember, and Trump got out and he ate like a whole row.
We had a ton still, but we would have had a ton more is what Misty was saying.
He ate a whole row. He ate the whole thing down.
But when we do our corn crop, actually where the corn crop goes, we're planting a hairy vetch, red clover. We also do mustard greens there too, and then we also do peas. So we are trying to fix the nitrogen naturally, and then we eat everything on there. The vetch we won't eat, but it will be a great biomass. The red clover, we'll let something come in there and graze, or let the turkeys come in there and graze. Can you still dehydrate basil after it's flowered? Absolutely. There's no wrong time to dehydrate, especially if you're putting them in. I mean, if you're utilizing here, yeah. So we actually dehydrate in our Excalibur, but because we have been dehydrating so much between our herbs and our tinctures, Misty's actually been hanging a lot of basil up too, because our basil is blowing up.
It's I could go out and harvest like
every
pounds
day
of basil every day and not put a dent in it. So last time I needed to harvest, my dehydrator was full. I had all kinds of stuff in it, and when I got all that out, I had to re-put it all back in there, and my basil was just going crazy. So you see, this one has already gone to flower. It had already gone to flower, several of them. Here's another one. And I just washed them and hung them upside down with a rubber band. And I have tacks put in the top of my windowsill, and it gets really warm in those windows. So I just take that little rubber band and hang it on that tack. And these are ready. I really need to get them down.
Thank you, Miss Eileen.
They're almost ready. They're getting there. Can y'all hear that crispiness? I'll probably give them a few more days because I want them so crispy that when I touch them, I want them almost crumbling. So they're getting there. I'm gonna probably give them a few more days. But yes, you can absolutely. Well, there's one that fell off.
Hey, Miss Catherine, welcome from Indiana.
You can absolutely use the flowers just the same. When I get ready to get this off, I'm gonna hold it over a plate, and it's getting close because my leaves are falling off. I will hold this over a plate and crunch all of this off. Put it in a grinder, like a coffee grinder, and grind it up. And I store it in just a regular mason jar with a lid.
Hey, Miss Sue, how are you doing tonight? Evans family, y'all doing okay? Misty's just almost fell. Y'all almost saw her tumble across the screen just then.
He would have laughed.
Hey, Luann Holly, how are you? I wouldn't have laughed.
He would have laughed at me.
No, I wouldn't. Rehab said, you know what I want? Crispy fried chicken.
I thought he was going to say Krispy Kreme.
I laughed because we harvest on chicken and we cut off the bone sometimes, but to be honest with you, most of the time Misty is cooking our chicken and she just don't debone it. So we'll cook it whole, roast it or whatever. Our kids, like the other day, we had I went to Walmart and bought like these little organic chicken tenders, because all they do is talk about how much they want chicken tenders, like they want like fried chicken tenders. So I came home with them, and you would have thought I brought them some kind of special
Christmas present.
They thought that was the best thing in the world that they got chicken tenders, because we never cut ours off hard. I think we cut off like twice. So.
Ever consider trading in your dehydrator for a freeze dryer? Okay.
Yeah, hit on that.
I don't know a whole lot about freeze dried food. However, I mean, not food. Let me go back. About doing it myself. Okay. We live in a very, very, when I say humid, y'all, when you walk out of our door at any point in time in the summer, you immediately start sweating. And I don't mean like a little sweat. I mean, if you go out for the afternoon and you come back in, you look like you just got out of the shower or the pool. You're covered in sweat. Aiden had a cross-country run yesterday, and when he got done, I was wiping the sweat off, and I was like, oh, I'm sweating so bad. And he was like, you think you're sweating? And it was literally dripping like off of him. So when I say that humidity is a very bad problem here to try to freeze dry things, that's a little concerning for me. And when we went down to Deep South, Colby and I talked to Miss Danny and Mr. Juan.
Miss Danny, Mr. Juan.
It's time for me to go to bed.
What is in this kombucha? Golly. Y'all better pray for her.
When we talked to Miss Wanda and Mr. Danny at Deep South, one of the things that they said that they had struggled with was freeze-dried foods because of the humidity.
Right.
And that she would send something through the freeze dryer and put it up, and they would go back and check it after a certain amount of time, and it would not be any good. It would be spoiled. And they have a root cellar. They have like wasn't it under the ground? So like they have like this whole perfect setup that you would think would, if you freeze dry your foods, that you could put it in there and it would be good forever. But she said that she's had major issues with that, and
it might be a learning curve. So we talked about doing the harvest right, and I'm not saying we won't get one. I'm just saying for us right now, we're taking baby steps in everything we do. Our goal is to make sure that our harvest is sustainable and is everlasting in the best way possible. So of course freezers are always there. As we add canning, as we add tinctures, as we add dehydration, freeze drying may be another step, but if we can keep going with this, our next goal is to really preserving meat a little bit different. So that's what we're really going to strive to this year.
Yeah, and I really don't know anything about a freeze dryer. So for the dehydrator, I've used it for so long, and I love the settings on there as far as if I'm doing herbs, if I'm doing vegetables, if I'm doing fruit, if I'm doing meat, whatever. All I have to do is set it on there and leave it in there for the amount of time, and it's Ridge Life. Thank you
Tim.
so much.
Hey, check out Tim at Ridge Life, but also his new channel, which is called Ridge Life Lessons. That's where he does a lot of his devotions. Great content. Check Tim out. Tim, thank you so much for coming on. I know it's burning up hot in Tennessee too.
Yep.
So check Tim out though. If you haven't subscribed to his new channel, do that because he is rocking it over there. Miss Debbie, we're roaming some hens. We tried to introduce those to the others. Anytime you're introducing flocks, put them side by side in 2 separate runs and let them get acclimated. If you don't have that, introduce them at night. So you will when you put your normal hens up for the night in their chicken run or chicken house, introduce that flock at night. Most of the time, chickens are lethargic at night. They'll wake up the next morning like, oh, how'd you get here? And most of the time they do pretty good. And if you have roosters
sometimes
there,
they won't, though.
Sometimes they won't. Are they going to pick on the weakest chicken? You will have to get that out or they will kill them. So
I have found though, like Colby said, if you can put them side by side for a period of time, that they can't get to each other, but then over time they almost don't know that that's there. So after a few weeks, when you do stick them in there, they've been around each other, but they haven't been around each other. So then they're like, okay, I know them, but there's no major conflict of like throwing a fresh hen in and they're like, wait, what? So I have found that has helped. But I said again. But they're still going to, they have a pecking order and they're still going to.
Our horses did for a while. I mean, our horses went,
they went head on head for
it was
a
pretty
little
intense.
while.
And then my bulls do it. I mean, it's animals.
So animals, they do. They're just going to have a pecking order.
We killed a pig because of it. So, it is what it is.
That was horrible. Oh, that was horrible.
All right. I saw one more comment I was going to try to answer. Oh, Donna, have you used your outdoor kitchen yet? It's coming together. We have not talked about it too much. We have one little reveal that Missy does on the next video. You're seeing a touch of it, but we will do a true full reveal of it.
We did use the shelving. It's not completely finished, but we did use the shelving, and I didn't say anything about it.
Don't be crazy, God.
So we did use the shelving on Labor Day, and we had our eating and stuff outside. So yes, but the sink is not all hooked up. We still have a little bit of plumbing left to do. Our stove just come in, and we're still waiting on our big gas tank. So we still have a few things to do, but we're just trying to, kind of finish piecing it together.
Hey, Little Pete, we said we weren't going to do any more this year, too, and we did. So.
What are you talking about?
Meat birds. So.
Oh, yeah, we ordered.
Miss Sue, thank you so much for
I can see you on your phone right there.
for the share
your
there.
chat is you.
I'm
Messed up the
sorry. I'm
chat.
sorry. I'm sorry, Miss Sue. Thank you again very much
Thank
for all the
you.
paying for the horse feed.
Yes, for the horse feed.
Well,
yes.
thank you. That means the world to us.
The
Miss Sue,
kids,
you're always so sweet to us.
the kids, like I said, yeah, they really are going to kind of be under our wings as pets for sure. When we were waiting on Colby this afternoon before church, that's what me and the kids went over to the horses, and we were out there just petting them down. There was a horse fly on Bella though. I don't know how we need to figure out what we're going to do with that because I don't want them biting the horses. So yeah, they're so sweet. They love to be rubbed and they loved attention, and that I love attention, and that's just right. If our alleys, I need to say alleys. So when we go out there, when we go out,
watermelon.
whatever, we don't drink. When we go out there, that's we want them to come up to us and pet on them and brush all over them and love them.
I don't know
and
who
stuff,
would brush on them the most. We all brush on them pretty good bit. I probably have a little bit more.
Well, Harley and Jennings went to the fence. They didn't go in because
Right.
I've told they're not allowed to go in without us out there. But they took them some carrots today.
Good luck, Miss Debbie.
So that was a lot of fun.
I think I would be partial to Bella. I would be, because she just seems like the sweetest right now. She's just this little, she's just this big fat old grandma horse. I mean, like she's sweet.
Very overweight, and she moves really slow.
She's big boned.
She moves really slow, and she's old. She's 15, and in horsey years, that's grandma status.
She's sweet though.
She does like to be led too. We have found out. I said
I'm so.
Rose is a lot more spunky. I think that I'm gonna like Rose because she's
got your feist.
But I haven't rode Rose yet.
Yeah, I told Misty the last video you saw that. Yet. I was trying to get her to ride Rose. We were a little nervous because Rose, even though she was very docile where she come from, she was not used to other animals. So when we say she was not used to other animals, the only animal she has saw in 7 years has been deer that she didn't like, but she made friends with this barn cat. Other than that, Rose has not seen any other animal and only about 5 human beings in her whole life.
When we brought her to the farm,
she actually reminded you of like a Mustang stallion that was going nuts out in the field.
She was neighing and kicking, and she was curious. She kept wanting to get up to Bella. And I will say this, the amazing thing is the owner come with us.
Yeah, definitely.
And she is very, very close to him. And he goes and sees her every day, but they moved across our county. They moved from where they were at. And the field that she stayed at was right across basically from their house. Well, since they moved and they're on the other side of the county, he said, I just cannot see her and spend as much time with her. It just makes it a whole lot harder. So he knew that we were, we didn't want Bella to be alone because they are herd animals, and we wanted somebody to be able to be in there and be with her eventually. But he said, look, if y'all want to come look at her, I really would rather her be with somebody that's going to be able to kind of tend to her and take care of her, and she'll have a friend. But when she got in that field, it was good that he was here because she totally was like.
They just had to. I mean, Bella's just standing there like, what is this little teenager doing? I mean, she's like jumping around, acting crazy, and she's just looking at her.
But it was good that the owner was here to kind of calm her down and talk to her and pet on her and be like, don't freak out.
The whole point of that, I was telling you that, is at first we were like, we were going to wait on him to come back and just said, hey, just because you know this horse better than we do, and we don't even know horses, but on top of not knowing horses, to know this horse, I said, we may just want to bring you back. So we were planning on bringing him back this week, but every day we would do one more new step. So of course she let us brush her and pet her and all that, but we'd saddle her.
The next day we would saddle, or the first day we put the stuff on her.
Put the new halter on her and just kind of walked her around.
Right, and then the next day we put the saddle on her, and then the next day we put the saddle on her, and Right. We put the bridle bit in, and then we walked her around. And then the next day, Colby got on her, and then a few days later, Aiden got on her. But she likes to be led too, or we think.
We're just learning. So we actually have that y'all saw Brady in the video. He's coming back this weekend. We're going to do some work with them. They're already broke. It's just they're a little rusty both. So we're going to come back and just kind of go over with them and see if we can get a good freshness to them. We may keep the kids off of reining for the next few weeks just to make sure that they're not getting confused with the kids, because the kids are, they're kids. So we may just focus on us maybe reining and them just being haltered and led around until they really get a good handle on it, just so we're not confusing the rustiness back into them. And also, I think, we're all timid because we're new to it, but I think our kids are even more timid. So I think that, with their movement, they're not really sharp on what they're trying to prove to the horse.
Right.
And I'm scared the horse is going to say, well, we can overtake this situation. So we're going to not listen. Yeah. So we're going to watch neck reining for the kids. We may do some, just me and Misty only, maybe Aiden. But we're going to let the other kids probably take a little break on that. So
they're really beautiful animals. They really are. And I love it that they're so, I think I like Rose a lot because of her, she's so curious. Like, she's very nosy. I don't want to use the word nosy. But like when we went out there today,
wow, Miss Cassie, that's
she
crazy.
Immediately had her head over the gate and was like looking around. And I was like, okay, what are y'all doing out here? She was like very, to where Bella was just standing there like.
But both these horses have never been around people daily. And so we're outside
always,
daily, all the time. So I think they're really enjoying it. They'll run the field, like Missy said, they'll run the fence every morning, go out and milk. When the daylight hits, they're both standing there like waiting for their portion of food, even though we don't even feed them, but they see the bucket that I've taken out the milk. So they're having fun with that.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming on. We are right here at the end of time. Y'all rock. I'm telling you, I loved all the questions that we had tonight. We gotta quit saying Thank y'all again though. And
can you say hey?
Can you say hey? She's growing up on us. She's getting a little hair back. Y'all see that?
Little ham bone. Little ham bone.
Thank y'all so much for being on here. Thank you for giving us thumbs up. Miss Sue, Tim, thank y'all so much for the super chats. It means the world to us. It really does. We're humbled by it. I will say this. We're not going to disclose it. But we have some monster news coming up in the next few weeks. And
we are so excited.
Yeah, like next few weeks ahead, there's going to be somebody dropping some great news, and we're just glad to be a part of it. So be looking at our channel, but also some other channels well, and you'll see some cool things coming out and some great things that's going to be happening over the next few weeks and months ahead. And we have some great videos on some of the things we're going for fall gardening. She's getting ill, so we're going to go. God bless.
Happy homesteading, y'all.
Happy homesteading, y'all.